Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Series 4 of Master League Story Mode. Now in the last episode, a week ago now, and what a long week it's felt like, we left on a bit of a cliffhanger. Would Corinne Diacre, one of the standout managers in world football, have taken Clermont Foot from Ligue 2, possible promotion maybe, it was always in the balance, to finishing in a Europa League spot in their first year in Liga? Would she stay at Clermont Foot, which had recently been taken over by the Fat Sheikh and had received a huge cash injection, 100 million euros into the transfer budget? Or would she accept the incredibly attractive offer from Tottenham Hotspur to manage in the Premier League and really step her managerial career up to the next level? Well, the votes are in. The patrons over on Patreon voted on this decision over the last week, and I can reveal with 73% of the vote going in this direction, Corinne Diacre will be moving to get a new contract at Clermont Foot. Yes, we're staying put. Yes, oh, bit of an X Factor pause there. I think you all enjoyed that. I certainly did. Yep, we're staying where we are for another season at least. Although this is a Journeywoman series, and she will eventually be moving on. Not yet, not yet. We want to run at the Europa League. We want a run at Liga. Surely with some of the improvements we can make with this massive transfer budget, we could be in line to finish even further up the table than 5th spot. So very, very exciting. Thanks for all of your incredible comments on the last episode. Obviously, I've been away for a week and I wasn't able to reply to any of them. But yeah, some really insightful stuff. I really enjoyed reading them all. I did read them all. Don't stop commenting. Normally, when I'm not doing something like a holiday, when I'm at work, for example, there's nothing I'd rather do than reply to your comments. But when I'm away doing fun stuff, can't really justify it. But I'll be back in there, trust me, mixing it up in the comments. So keep them coming. And I'll be very interested to hear your opinions on how we get on today, because there is a lot for us to get done. So first off, we can go in and we can accept the manager offer. We had quite a few to choose from in the end. Bordeaux were in there, Monaco, that didn't go through. We tried a second time, didn't get there in time. Saint Etienne, a move to Sao Paulo might have been interesting. But we're going to stay at Clermont. We're going to renew this contract. And I think it was the right move. There's so many incredible players we wouldn't want to say goodbye to. So much potential in this side that we want to continue to build on. And I think as a little celebration before we move into the next season, we are going to sign our first player with the now 118 million euro transfer budget. And it's going to be the Young Turk. Young Turk. That is an excellent, excellent Rod Stewart song. Young Turks. Go and Google that now. In fact, stop what you're doing. Go and Google that. Listen to it and then come back. It's one of my favourite songs ever. But yeah, the Young Turk, Emre Moore. I mean, we don't even need to really negotiate anymore, but 11 million for him. It's a big salary, but we've got the money for it now. With the investment that's come in, we can really start to make moves. He'll come in as our first signing before the window even opens, before the new season even begins. And yeah, he's going to be excellent. I feel like he's going to be a very similar player to Wellington Nem, and playing him out on the right-hand side, he's going to add that dynamism we've been looking for. Great dribbler, can beat a man, got the speed and explosive power. Obviously, his passing has got a little bit of work to go, but 76 low pass is pretty good. We don't put in a huge amount of crosses anyway. And he's only 22 years old, so plenty of time to improve. He's left-footed, which is probably not ideal. If we can get Jonathan Cafu as well, I'm not adverse to adding 2 potential wing targets. I think Passetto or Ivi Lopez might be on the way out. At least one of them is going to go. Still got Musonda to look at. He's 78 rated, so we're sort of investing in a potential one there. But yeah, I mean, exciting stuff. Now, someone did mention in the last episode that I accidentally stopped Zagadou's contract renewal, so we'll start that back up again. Let's just remind ourselves where we are with the scouts before we move into the next season. We didn't spot this at the end of the last season, but we have had, potentially, we can put in a bid for Rob Holding, who would be a very interesting centre-back and right-back to add into the side. I don't know if we'd start him above Doucouré or Zagadou, possibly over Doucouré, but he'd be a good talent. He's at 78 at the moment. If we do move up, if someone moves up, probably in Cham or now actually Emre Moore being the most likely to, then we can deal with him. We're having trouble scouting a winger, which is a bit concerning. I'm thinking though we could do with an attacking midfield backup. So we'll see if there's any young attacking midfielders in England that can replace him. I think we'll keep looking for a centre forward as well. And then a right back is one of the many, many players that we're going to be looking for now. We're pretty much in the market now for every position. I think we want to improve our bench in almost every position. We've got a new winger in now in Moore. And yeah, I mean, there's a few positions that maybe we can improve on. But anyway, for now, let's go to the next season and see what happens. So here we are into the stats for the season, which is always very interesting. Now, considering that we've had counter-attack and long pass as our tactics, we've very much turned into a possession game side. I think players like Wellington Nem have really made that the case. We haven't had to rely so much on long balls into Dory. Playing Nem in that attacking midfield role has really changed things up. We're sort of midway between a long pass and short pass team, but I still like being able to bomb forward on the counter-attacks. I think that works well. So defensively, we have sat back a little bit more, which I think has worked well, and then we've broken quickly. Interesting to see that in terms of attacking, most of our attacks have gone down the centre, and very few down that right-hand side, which is the position that we had troubles with. So hopefully, the addition of Emre Moore and maybe even Cafu or another winger there can change that up. We maybe want to look for that position more. So we scored most of our goals at the beginning of the second half. That's interesting. Not too much of significance in that. But what is much more conclusive is the types of goals that we've scored. Massively in favour of through balls. Only 4 goals from crosses is insane throughout the season. A lot of great individual play as well. And in terms of play area, a lot of our action happening in the middle of the pitch. Wellington Nem driving things forward through the centre, and Olivier and Cham. And then obviously slipping through balls into our danger men. And that's worked very well for us. So now into the rankings. Olivier and Cham tops the charts in terms of dribbling and passing. He was very, very involved in almost everything we did. Got to give a shout out though to the captain Doolin, whose position maybe is in jeopardy at the moment as he ages a little bit. He's not getting any better. But he's got the highest passing and dribbling success rate out of any player in the top 5 with either of those stats, which is pretty incredible really. He's very efficient in the centre. And if you look as well, he's also got the highest tackles won, and he's up in 4th in aerial battles. He's been big. He's been big for us. There's no doubt about it. I would have to find someone incredible to take his place. In fact, looking at these stats, it would be silly, really, considering as well that he is the captain. I'm sure that would have an impact on team spirit if we did drop him. And in terms of shooting, well, the young guns well ahead of everyone else in the goals, and both of them scoring about a quarter of their attempts, which I reckon is pretty good. 4 shots a game, 1 goal. Well, I think you would take that, wouldn't you? But Ivy Lopez with 9%, 35 shots attempted, and only 3 scored. That is really poor. And Passetto, I'm sure, would be very similar to that as well. Big Zags, dominant in the air. Decore and Zagadou, as you'd expect. Caramo winning a lot of aerial battles as well, which is good to see. So, promotion relegation, and it is Nancy Lorraine. Honorat was relegated. I missed that. I'm sure we missed that. I don't know how that happened. I thought they were safe. But no, well, maybe we could buy Big Frank the Rat back. Probably not. So, first day of the transfer window and our first new signing into the new look, cash-rich Claremont foot side, and it's Emre Moore, a player who was much touted as a big thing. He's sort of tailed off slightly, but I think Corinne Diacre can get the best out of him. Still a lot of room left to improve. And that'll mean that all 3 of our first choice front 3 players are under 22 years old. But all really exciting talents. Jonathan Cafu looks like it's going to go through, as does Sio, who I think would be an excellent backup option. Masunda and Crivelli not happening. Caramo's being a bit difficult, but we can try that again. And we say goodbye to Gonzalo Malero, who didn't really do much. And there is the Fat Sheikh. He's not got his turban on there. I guess he might have a turban and some sort of robe. Sad to say goodbye to the Fat Controller, but we're loving the Fat Sheikh's money. And top 9. I think that's not a problem at all. And there is the final transfer budget and salary budget. 13 million for salary, 107 for transfers. Let's go wild. It's going to be supermarket sweep here. Let's go and check out the first couple that we've got lined up, and then we've got a lot of searching to do. So Jonathan Cafu, 11 million. Another big salary, 1.9. Let's take a look if we can get that down. We could maybe scrub 100,000 off, but it's not really worth it. We don't even really need to quibble here. I'm very pleased with Jonathan Cafu, but I think we'll keep this just on the back burner for now. Now this one is sorted. I like him. He's got the speed and explosive power that Emre Moore's got. He's not quite as good with the ball, but he's a much better passer and finisher, and he's right-footed as well. I think he'd be a great option. Him and Emre Moore out on that right-hand side will give us 2 fairly similar, but also in some ways quite different options. And we can sort of rotate between those 2. We've got a lot more games this season with the Europa League to deal with, so I think he would be a pretty smart buy. Masunda, that's disappointing because he's looking good, but he is too highly rated for us at the moment. And then Sio, well, I'd be interested to hear your opinions on him. I think he'd be excellent. He's 30 years old. He's always been an absolute pain to play against every time we've gone up against him. He's got 81 finishing, and he's quick, he's powerful. I think he's a Koyalapu replacement as an option off the bench, who won't mind necessarily not playing every game because he is 30 years old. I think he'd be great. So definitely one to consider as well. We'll keep him there for now. So where do we look next? Well, we'll go back into the listed players, see if there's anything in here that takes our fancy. Oliver Burke would have been excellent, but he's way too high for us. These all 78 rated, all out of our league for the minute. Boga would be excellent. If we do go up to 78, he'd be an excellent choice. Moving slightly further down, Jonathan Cafu, as we've seen. Diakabi, another very, very strong-looking French centre-back, but he's very slow. And, oh no, he would be good, actually. Tempting to put a bid on him as well. Only 1 out of 5 chance of signing at the moment. Maybe leave that Benassa, another player that we looked at. Almost signed as well. He'd be a good Incham replacement. He's not very good defensively, but he's a good passer of the ball. I think first course of action in the midfield is to have a stand-in. Although we do have Masawema. I guess, actually, it's the Incham role that we don't have a backup for. Masawema is a good replacement for Dooley when necessary, and he's still very young. There is Masawema in our list still. He's still got room to improve, definitely. Still a young player. You know, with Dooley, I think, still our first choice for now. I think maybe we are looking for an Incham replacement, which is maybe a more mobile but still good passing. I mean, I do like Toure. He's one that we've looked at a lot. 25-year-old destroyer from Nantes. Pretty quick. Great ball winner. Good passer as well. Very similar player to Dooley. One to consider. Who was the other guy? Yeah, we've got Ndorum as well. He can play as a defensive midfielder. 23-year-old Monaco player. I like the look of him. And there's also Ruben Loftus-Cheek. In terms of an Incham replacement or understudy, he'd be perfect. Quite good going forward. I would quite like still a central midfielder who can finish. But one player who we have looked at a lot and I think definitely is worth investing in is still another good young French forward. We want the Caramo replacement, so we're going to put a bid in using our final transfer at the moment for Sibachu. Good finisher, good in the air, good spread of stats, actually fairly quick as well for a young target man. I like him. Good dribbler, good ball control. It's got a bit of everything really. I think he would be a good stand-in. I think we really are looking at mainly stand-ins at the moment. But I think we'll go with him as our final one and then we'll just keep things moving for now. We might have to make a decision on Jonathan Cafu or CO fairly soon to free up spots. But other than that, I think we'll just keep cracking on. So only 2 days later. And what have we got here to look at? We've had an offer for Karamo and Zagadou's contract negotiations are broken down. Neither of these two are massively concerning. They've got time left. Karamo's not going anywhere. Be interested to see what the offer is. Luckily, he doesn't have any sort of release fee. Luckily, 13 million would be a snip for this very talented youngster. His contract does expire next August, but I think we can chill on this for now. So Sibachu has come back as well. Interesting. We could be about to line up another attacking signing very early on. 12 million for him. That was 18 million for CO. I didn't even notice that. I mean, he's good, but I don't know if he's that good. Again, that's one I would definitely like to hear your opinions on. Can maybe get it down a touch. Would they be interested in a lightly used Passetto? They would be. Interesting. Could put in a cheeky trade bid with Passetto. Rivi Lopez, that would free up his wages at least. Oh, we can't. They're negotiating. Okay. Well, I mean, we can always sell players. 18 million does seem like a lot for him, though. But 12 million for this youth prospect. Good, solid target man style centre forward. He's 190 centimetres tall. Decent finisher, decent header, good jump. I mean, he's not a world beater, but I think he'd be a good person to bring in. What I like about him is he's got a bit of pace to him for a big lad, and that's important for me. But to sign all these three, well, that'd be 41 million. So, and then I think we'd be set up front, really. One thing we can do now is, again, go and look for a free agent, see if there's any value to be had there. I mean, it's always good value. Obviously, we can only do that really looking at French free agents because we've got that link there with all French players. Let's see what they've got. Oh, I suppose we could do with a reserve keeper. Legali. Winger, Ongenda. No, he's pretty poor. A left back, he's alright, but we're getting pretty poor here. Edouard. Strikers, Chaby. Yeah, I think we'll go for Legali. I think we'll put in a bid for him. Smart bit of business. Give Bernardoni a bit of competition. And yeah, it gives us another option, depending on form. So 7 days into the transfer window and the scouts are back. We've changed up some of those scouting requirements. So it's going to be interesting. And Legali is back as well. I think that's a no-brainer. I think a second choice keeper at 75 rated. How old is he? 28 years old. Yeah, that'll do nicely. No problems there. We're trying to beat off Brentford for that one. 1.1 million salary is quite a lot. I'd rather not give you that much. Looks like that is negotiable though. So we'll just give him a 1 year. We'll offer him 800k. Yeah, that's fine. That seems reasonable. Right, what have the scouts got for us? Be something interesting. It's another striker. Ooh, it's Mounier. But 79 rated. That's a shame. That's going to be out of our reach. Even if we do go up 1, I doubt we're going to get 2 up in this window. But he would be incredible. Look at those stats. 25 years old. He's massive. He would be the perfect signing for us. 81 finishing. Oh, 87 header. 91 physical. 86 speed. This guy's an absolute beast. He's going on the list. Oh, tempted now to hold off as long as we can on signing a striker just in case he's available. Just in case someone gets to 79 rated before the end of the window. So Legali is back and he's accepted the 800k. That's still quite a lot, but that secures us a good second keeper. Second signing, done. Simple one there. Still got 12 million in the salary budget. Got these 3 lined up. I'm not 100% on Siu and Sibachu. I think I'm going to make this... Whoa. I don't know, just because we don't know what's going to come back from the scouts. But Cafu, I think, is the one out of these 3 I'm most happy with. Siu and Sibachu, they're both good. Maybe I'm not that excited yet. So someone really needs to remind me of all the link clubs. I had them all written down, but I've lost them. If someone wants to earn incredible brownie points, and they can go into some of the old episodes and see who I said the linked teams were, then yeah, I mean, you will be a legend to me forever. Obviously, the one we do know is France, because Corinne Diacre played for France at an international level. That allows us to look at any French player. And I think now we should just go and see just who the best players we can look at in France are. Maybe there's some we've missed, because now that we're looking for almost every position, there might be some in here that we haven't looked at. So Masuaku, he looks like a pretty handy left back. Question whether he's much better than Duarte. He looks pretty good going forward. He's got early cross and speeding bullet, both good ones to have. Ruben Duarte wasn't incredible for us last season. We might put in a bid in for him. Veretout would be an excellent Incham replacement, or an excellent Incham stand-in. A little bit more creative. He's a very good from place kicks, and any of you who watch Series 1 of Master League Story Mode will know that we absolutely love Jordan Veretout. He was a legend of that Blackburn series. Loic Remy, another ageing striker, could be interesting. We've got an attacking midfielder here. He's dynamic at the very least. Very similar to Wellington Nem. He'd be interesting. Baloui. Yeah, okay. Interesting. We could do with a Wellington Nem backup / replacement. Diakabi we've looked at. We like. Nkunku. Ooh, now he does look very Incham-like. Very Incham-like. Great ball winner. Quick. 22 years old from PSG. There's some good options in here. Definitely some good options. Valbuena. I'm actually having had a good look through. This guy is interesting me. He can play at right back and at left back. 21 years old. He's quick. He's got great passing. Doesn't have early cross, which we would like. But we need someone to stand in for Alcibiade as a backup, maybe a bit of competition. I think we'll go for him. I like buying young players, and he looks to be an excellent one. We did have to pass by Mathew Debussy to get there. Obviously tempting. Gomes, he'd be a good target man. Sibachi, obviously, we've got lined up. Grenier, great talent. There's some good players in here. Definitely some good players. And we're going to have the money to make some of them ours if we want. Capoue, Knockhart from Brighton. He's a great player. Doesn't look like we could sign him though. Anyway, a few in there. Let's keep moving. So Nagali is now a Clermont foot player. Pierre Gabriel has broken down. Let's see what the scouts got for us now. 13 days into the window. We've got a lot of things teed up here. We maybe need to pull the trigger on some of them to allow for some space. Kavari, French right back. And we did actually see him when we were searching through. He's decent actually. He looks solid. We'll see how much maybe we get him for. Play at centre back as well. Decent ball winners, pretty quick. Pretty strong as well, actually, for a right back. Not as good at passing as Alcibiade. That's what we love about Alcibiade. 80 passing makes him a real threat going forward. 24 years old. I think we want younger. For him. So I think to free up some space so we can keep negotiations moving along swiftly, I think we're going to go for Jonathan Cafu. I think we're going to sign that one. We've basically replaced Ivi Lopez and Passetto now with Emre Moore and Cafu coming in. Probably time to get rid of one of them. Pierre Gabriel didn't go through. I think we want to try that again because I really like him. Then Sibachu and maybe Sio and maybe as well. So now just purely looking at attacking midfielders from France that we can deal with. Walter's a man that has cropped up a lot. I think when we played Nice, he was playing as a left back. But he's a good passer, a good finisher for a central midfielder. Fairly average sort of athletic stats, but I quite like him. I'll keep coming back to Nkunku. I think we're going to put in a bid for him. Central midfielder in the Incham mould. Mobile, good speed, good explosive power, strong on the ball, great ball winner as well, good passer. I think he could progress really nicely. PSG youth, I think we'll put in a bid for him. And we'll keep things moving. So Jonathan Cafu has joined up with the squad. That's a good signing. I think it's time to go and look at the game plan. See how things are looking. A little reminder of how things are going to be squaring up for the start of the season. So we've got Moore and Cafu coming in. Ivi Lopez will drop out of the side, potentially out of the team as well. And then there's Cafu as well. I think for me, I mean, they're very, very close. Comparing Cafu and Emre Moore, both of them creators, both of them right wingers by trade. Fairly similar heights and weights. They're both small, nippy. In terms of speed, well, they're exactly the same speed, but Emre Moore does have the better ball control and significantly better dribbling. Slightly better low pass. Cafu's a better crosser, better finisher. It's quite an interesting mix between the two of them. Emre Moore, for some reason, has got an incredible jump. Both of them pretty weak. Jonathan Cafu much better with his weaker foot. His form's better as well. So it could well be. I think we start Moore out there. Interesting to see what it does to the team spirit. Oh, Cafu brings in one extra team spirit. What was Passetto when we were in there? So Passetto was at 93. So I think we'll start Moore there, but then we've got Cafu as an option. Got Legali in now, second keeper. We'll have him on the bench. Saavedra is going to keep his... I mean, it'd be so hard for us to say goodbye to Saavedra. I really want to keep this team spirit around 90, though. I think if we drop anywhere below that with our starting 11, we could struggle at the beginning of the season. Now, Gouffran, he's a player we can definitely get rid of. We'll put him to the bottom of the list here. Jalabi, I mean, he's dead wood. He can go, as can Janine, because we've got a second keeper now. Ivi Lopez, I don't know. Either him or Passetto are going to go. Loppi, we don't need him anymore. So, Masawemo, good backup for Doolin. Let's just go through the side. Koyalapu, who's going to be his replacement? It could be Sio. I think he'd be a good option there. Karamo, maybe Sibachu on the bench as an option. Moore and Cafu playing in that role. We want two good players in each role. So it's the attacking midfield role. We don't have another attacking midfielder. That's what we want to fill. In Cham, no one else to play there really. Doolin and Masawema, I'm happy with both of them as defensive midfielders. Doolin's got the experience and he's just got the stats behind him, as we've seen. He had a great season. At the back, we do need another centre-back. We do really need a right and a left-back. I'd be happy to play Saavedra in that left-back role because he's never let us down. Now, we've got two keepers now. So right-back, centre-back, attacking midfield, centre-mid we're still looking for. I think we've got options for those two. But still a bit of work to do, and we're 13 days into the transfer window. We need to be, 15 days in the transfer window. We do need to make some new signings. Let's keep moving, though. Nkunku's broken down. That's no good. That's no good at all. So Scout is back. We're now 21 days into July. Starting to feel like we need to make some changes here, but let's have a look. See the negotiations. What have we got? Another centre forward, and it's Lookman, another player we can't sign. Saido Berahino. That's interesting. 26-year-old Saido Berahino now. What he does have on his side is 80 attacking prowess. I mean, that is always important. He's a bit slower than you'd like. Good strength on the ball, great finisher. I mean, as a backup for Koyalapu, I can think of worse. Obviously not scoring at all at the moment in the Premier League. Maybe a trip over to France would be what we need for his confidence. Lookman as well. Oh, he'd be excellent. Look at the pace on him, but again, just out of our reach at 79 rated. Got a right back in here as well to look at. It's Cisse. Belgium defensive midfielder from Fulham. Not for me, I don't think. Not for me. So, updating transfer negotiations for Berahino. Interesting. It's going to be between Berahino and Sio. I think I know who's probably the better option, but interesting to see. So, Berahino 13 million with a slightly higher wage than Sio. 18 for Sio. Let's take a look and compare the two. I mean, Berahino is a pure striker. There's no doubt about that. 80 attacking prowess is is excellent. He'll make great runs, intelligent runs. 82 finishing, slightly better finisher as well. When it comes to athletic stats, CO obviously is the better player, but he's in decline. CO is quicker, he's stronger. Although Berahino does have 85 explosive power. I like Berahino. I've always liked him. I've always felt sorry for him. I think he had a lot of promise. Seems to be throwing it away. Definitely an option there. 3 interesting strikers. Very different strikers. I think we could probably sign 2 of these 3. Sibachu as the target man, maybe. So going back into the list, I think we're going to have another run at Toure, because I think he would be a good option to play at centre-back as well, because he's got all the physical attributes to play there. He's quick enough, great ball winning, but he's also a good passer. And I like having that option alongside one of the bigger centre-backs to have someone who can actually pass and move. He's still massive himself, so I think he'd be a good option. Tisserand, always one that comes up as well. At Wolfsburg, he can play on the right. He's quick, physical, good passer. Yeah, I think we'll put in a bid for him as well. So we're now into August. I don't know. I mean, we've made 3 signings already, or 4 signings. Oh, and Toure and Tisserand are both back, so they're on the table now. Still have no players at 78. I was really hoping that either Karamo or Emery Moore or Olivier Ncham would step up. They're both young. You would have thought that they would at some point, but they haven't yet. So let's take a look. We don't have much time left in this episode. We're not going to get to any games today, but we do have a lot of new signings, potential signings lined up, which I want to hear all about in the comments. Your opinions. Toure, 7 million for him. That seems like a snip for the 25-year-old. Great passer, really good passer, good in the air, good ball winner, quick, strong. I mean, we could play him as a defensive midfielder or a centre-back, great stamina. He'd be excellent. I think he'd be a good signing. And Tisserand as well. Well, obviously he could play as a centre-back or a right-back. He's got all the attributes to play in either of those positions. Another big guy as well. 26 years old, slightly more experienced than Zagadou or Decore, and only 8 million. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer, that one. And thankfully as well, none of them want release fees. So let me know what you think of these 5 players, all lined up and ready to go in positions that we need. Berahino, I know a lot of you will probably have a pretty poor impression of Saido Berahino, and I'd be inclined to agree, but I do like him. His stamina does look like he wouldn't be able to play a whole game, but that finishing and attacking prowess alone, the explosive power, finishing and attacking prowess, I think would get us a lot of goals in that Koyalapu role. Toure can play central midfield, can play defensive midfield and centre-back. I think he'd be a good signing for 7 million. CO, he's a lot of money. We can afford him. He's 30 years old. He looks like he'd be an absolute battering ram of a player for us in that Koyalapu role. Would give us something different, just raw power. Definitely one to consider. Always been hard to play against. Tisserand, I'm really liking that as a choice. And I think for 8 million, we've got to really go for him. And then Sibachu, I'm not sure about him, but he is a target man. And that is what we're looking for. And he's actually, although there's a lot of yellow there, not much green, I think he could really get pretty good, pretty quick. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of them. I might try and cobble together some sort of Patreon vote for that, but I'm not sure. So there we have it. That's all we've got time for today. It was just a transfer episode today. In the next episode, well, we're already into the 15th of August and we'll have our first 2 games of the season. And even then, we won't make it to the end of the transfer window. And, well, we've still got a lot of business to do, but we've got a lot of players lined up and some good recruitment has already taken place. There's Ncham and Masawema looking pleased. They're excited for the new season, as am I. Join me on Friday for the next episode, and I'll see you in a bit.